insane RPG games that every RPG fan gotta play at least once. Hope you like it. Click on the like button, and let's go.
Once we were many. Now we are few. Hunters, killers of the world's filth.
The Witcher 3, one of the most beloved action RPG games ever released, it was released in 2015 by the studio CD Projekt Red and won the Game of the Year in that year. After releasing The Witcher 3, the world just realized how impressive the studio was, and from there on everyone just want to know about their next game. By the way, there will be their next game in this list, and The Witcher 4 is already announced too, what shall be one of the biggest games of its year. The open world of this game is impressive. It's huge, with many different quests and side quests, all of them with a lot of personality. It's impressive, and around the world you'll find many different people with different dialogues, mini quests and interactions will add a lot to the gameplay immersion. The main story takes about 60 hours, but it's so good that you'll want to do the extra missions to get better items or even explore more of the universe. And there's 2 great expansions, what will add more than 30 hours of gameplay to the game.
Witchers, the ultimate killing machines. Among us, a legend. The one they call Geralt of Rivia, the White Wolf. White Wolf, at last.
Soon she'll wake and paint again. Paint a new number, ticking down every year. One stroke.
Clair Obscure Expedition 33 was a surprise to everyone. The game was released in April of 2025. Nobody was expecting much of this game, but what the studio Sandfall Interactive delivered us was a true video game masterpiece. The game is available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, GeForce Now, and Microsoft Windows, and in this moment, it is available on Xbox Game Pass. So if you're a user of Game Pass, even if you think you're not going to like the game, try it. You'll be surprised. Explore a world of wonders inspired by Belle Epoque France and battle unique enemies in this turn-based RPG with real-time mechanics. Despite it's a game set in a turn-based combat, it's the most different one I've ever played. It's even like a Souls-like game sometimes. You need to dodge enemies' attack, or even parry. What's harder, but will reward you with mana points. So I assure you, in less than 30 minutes, you'll be hooked to the story of the game. And from there on, it'll just get better and better with a nice story and deep storytelling and a complex character building.
I saved you. And I'm here to save you again. The parasites are merely a symptom of a greater sickness in Faerun. The infected hear the voice of the Absolute and believe it to be a god.
Baldur's Gate 3, the most impressive tactical RPG ever released. The game was developed by the studio Larian Studios and was released in 2023, winning as the best game of the year in that year, and it's available on Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. In case you like tactical RPG, it's almost impossible that you've never seen Baldur's Gate 3, since it got really famous right after it was released, and the reason is simple. The game is simply amazing in every term, since the story, which can change based on your choices along the game, the characters, the combat possibilities, and the amount of details in every choice. Everything can change in a small decision, like kill or not an NPC, or even doing things that you didn't even think it was possible. It's even scary to think that the developers worked so hard to make every decision of the player to be really important. The main story takes about 70 hours to be finished, but if you play it all, I'm sure you'll want to explore much more the universe of the game, trying to do all you can before ending.
The Absolute is more dangerous than you can possibly conceive. It threatens all who live. It threatens the gods, the weave, the very fabric of the universe itself.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is obviously the sequel of the original game released in 2018, and it amazed all players that tried it. So the second game was released in 2025, and it's simply one of the best games of the year, better than the first game in almost all aspects. The studio that developed it is Warhorse Studios, the studio of the old Mafia franchise writer, and the game is available on Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The game is set in an immersive and impressive open world, where you can explore many different realistic areas, by the way. As it's a medieval game, you can explore castles, buildings, churches, and much more. All that's set in the accurate state of the time the game is set. Everything with impressive details. The gameplay is like a simulator. You can't do much more than you could do in the reality. I mean, if you try to face 4 guys, you'll surely lose, as the combat is extremely realistic in a lot of details, since the weapons, movements, damage, and more. And the world itself is really realistic too, with laws, NPCs that seems to be alive, and deep dialogues with many different people.
Becoming more than a peasant.
You know the trouble with an adventurous life? It can end before it gets started.
The tarnished will soon return, guided by grace once lost.
Elden Ring, the biggest and most beloved game of the already classic studio from Software. The game was released in 2022 and was the best game of that year according to the Game Awards. And if you want to play it, it's available on Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 4 and 5, Windows. Until the end of 2025, it'll be released on Nintendo Switch 2. The game is a massive open-world Souls-like, an action RPG, and is one of those games that won't tell you what to do. You'll see some tips if you pay attention to the game, but the exploration here is the most important, and it's really immersive in this game. The journey is hard, but extremely pleasant in case you like Souls-like games, and it'll take about 60 to 100 hours to finish. And beyond that, there's a huge expansion, probably the biggest expansion ever released in a video game, and will add about 30 hours of gameplay in the game.
Emboldened by the flame of ambition, someone must extinguish thy flame.
They will fight, and they will die.
When atomic fire consumed the Earth, those who survived did so in great underground vaults. When they opened, their inhabitants set out across the ruins of the old world to build new societies, establishing villages, forming tribes.
Fallout New Vegas is a first-person shooter RPG game. It was developed by the studio Obsidian Entertainment and released in 2010 to Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Windows. And unfortunately, so far there's no new version to the new consoles.
As decades passed, what had been the American Southwest united beneath the flag of the new California Republic, dedicated to old world values of democracy and the rule of law.
It's the most beloved game of the series to this day, set in an immersive world with interesting characters, amazing progression, and nice storylines, being the only first-person game of the series created by this studio that also developed South Park, The Stick of Truth, Pillars of Eternity, Outer Worlds, and more.
As the Republic grew, so did its needs. Scouts spread east, seeking territory and wealth in the dry and merciless expanse of the Mojave Desert.
Feel the heat in New Vegas. Not even nuclear fallout could slow the hustle of Sin City. Explore the vast expanses of the desert wastelands, from the small towns dotting the Mojave wasteland to the bright lights of the New Vegas Strip. See the great Southwest as could only be imagined in Fallout. A game with a really immersive universe. Everywhere you go and explore, you'll find something useful, a weapon, resources, and more. The combat is not like a Call of Duty game, since it's an RPG game, but more you play, more you'll learn, making it always get more and more satisfying to discover and explore.
The Republic held the dam, just barely, against the Legion's onslaught. The Legion did not retreat. Across the river, it gathers strength. Campfires burn, training drums beat.
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack. One very specific man might be all that stands between humanity and the greatest threat of our brief existence.
Mass Effect 2 is an immersive and unique RPG game first released in 2010, released by the studio BioWare, that nowadays are not that good. But back then, this studio was legendary, and the game is available on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Windows. But the legendary version, that's a remaster of the first games, is also available on PlayStation 4 and 5, GeForce Now, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and also Windows.
They're coming around for another attack!
Are you prepared to lose everything to save the galaxy? You'll need to be Commander Shepard. It's time to bring together your greatest allies and recruit the galaxy's fighting elite to continue the resistance against the invading Reapers. It's a massive RPG game with over 40 hours of content if you want to do everything, all with high quality, interesting characters, nice storytelling. That's also shaped by your decisions along the game. That will also change your relationship with other characters, and of course, an interesting gameplay and combat, set in a third-person shooter style with a lot of weapons, abilities, and scenarios.
I will show you true power.
We need a leader. And surround them with the brightest, the toughest, the deadliest allies we can find.
Welcome to Night City.
In Night City, the rules are different.
Stakes are higher.
Cyberpunk 2077, the game developed right after The Witcher 3 by CD Projekt Red. The game was released in 2020 to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Windows. And in that moment, everyone got disappointed with the game. It wasn't that everyone expected, but in the next years it released to Xbox Series XS and PlayStation 5. And along the years, they fixed many problems of the game and added many features. What made the game way better than in the launch, beyond that it's already confirmed that the game will be day one on Nintendo Switch 2, with the DLC included. The game received a huge DLC, with a new map, new characters, new weapons, vehicles, and more. Adding all that to the game makes the experience playing really good. The core of the game is similar to The Witcher, but the gameplay and universe are totally different. This is a FPS RPG, obviously set in a futuristic cyberpunk world, where the technology is in another level, and nothing is really natural anymore. Not even the people. The possibilities in the game are many, since missions, side missions, dialogues, and much more, what makes the replay factor interesting. It takes about 40 hours to be finished, but exploring and doing everything, including the DLC, you'll easily play for more than 100 hours, and it's really worth nowadays.
The year is 2077. An economic crisis culminating in nuclear conflict has left America in pieces. With most of the continent degenerating into lawless war zones, people from all over have converged on the already overcrowded Night City, one of the world's last.
You are truly as he anticipated. This is truly an unjust game. But if my voice is reaching you, I beg you, please overcome this game and save the world.
Persona 5, probably the biggest JRPG ever created. A game with a huge universe and lore, and it's the favorite game of many people around the world. It was developed by Atlas and released in 2016 to PlayStation 3 and 4, but there are different versions too, which you can play on almost all current consoles and PC. Don the mask and join the Phantom Thieves of Hearts as they stage grand heists. Infiltrate the minds of the corrupt and make them change their ways. That's the Steam briefing of the game. The gameplay mixes a lot of features, exploration, dialogue choices, combat, which is a turn-based combat, and much more. The universe of the game is huge, with many different characters, all really interesting. And as you play, you'll get even more connected to these characters. So I'm sure that if you like JRPG games, this one will probably be the biggest one you'll ever play, at least until the next Persona game. The story takes about 97 hours to be finished. And if you want to do more than just the story, it could go up to 170 hours.
Allow me to observe the path of your rehabilitation. Gather personas and bring them here. Execute them and continue to give birth to even stronger personas. The world is not as it should be. It faces an inevitable utter ruin. However, mankind is said to hold the power to overturn even the most dire of predicaments.
Divinity Original Sin 2 is an insane tactical RPG game developed by the same studio of Baldur's Gate 3, Larian Studios. It was released in 2017 to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows, and later also got a version to Nintendo Switch, iPad, and iOS. So you who likes tactical RPG and never played it, do it. You won't regret. Explore the vast and layered world of Rivelin alone, or in a party of up to 4 players in drop-in, drop-out cooperative play. Go anywhere, unleash your imagination, and explore endless ways to interact with the world.
You were my home once. Before you were overrun by these elves, dwarves, humans. They meddled with a power they didn't understand.
A game with an amazing universe, and such as Baldur's Gate 3. When you interact with every detail of the world, it will show some reaction, especially the NPCs. That back in 2017 already showed us that a game could be immersive and complex in small details. So if you play Baldur's Gate 3 and want to play something kind of similar, play this one. It's not as insane as Baldur's Gate, but it's an experience that you gotta have.
Those of us that remain are being hunted, and with good reason. One of us will ascend and become the god Rivelon so desperately needs.
But not yet. First, we must fight.